thank you again to Professor Khoo for the moving narrative of India to Malaysia. We still have time for one more round of questions. Please make it brief, preferably because we want to get as many people in. Can you just choose your best question and say who you're addressing it?
Assalamualaikum for both speakers and the moderator. I think from the whole lectures, from the earlier lectures that has been given, the main point that I may understand is education. And in fact, Professor Khoo, you and I have agreed that the problem that we face today, the only way that we could use is actually through education, the change in the educational system. And I personally believe that education is the only method that we can use to change all these problems, all these wrong perceptions, and all these very problematic cultures for Malaysia to become better. And in fact, if we use the democracy as the form for this education, perhaps that we may use it. We may introduce the form of what this democracy to the children and the young generation. But in fact, we do not have that. We do not have full rights of expressions, and in fact, our educational system has been controlled. And personally, I believe that education should not be controlled by any politician or by any politics.
Can you state a question, please? There's a long line behind you.
Okay, sorry. And my question is how Malaysia can shape Malaysia's citizens. Actually, if we're talking about change, how can we change it? Because we are students. Although we got educational cultivated, we are so weak to change it. And your opinions, how can we change it?
Thank you. Question, please.
Assalamualaikum, my name is Omar from Mahalabilan. I have four, but I discounted two. Actually, Dato Tan Sri answered me the question. Dato On was no longer regarded as the leader of the Malay after 1951. But I'm wondering one thing. You remember that Dato On was still a member of Ahli Hal Ehwal Dalam Negeri after 1951, and he was the member of Ahli Hal Ehwal Dalam Negeri until 1955. So I'm wondering that your question reflect what happened after 1951. Indeed, that Dr. An was no longer the UMNO president, but he was the member of Internal Affairs after 1951. My second question is, what we have in Malaysia, a history, most of them based on Malay-centric. Not Malaysian-centric, Malay-centric. So how for us to overcome all these things? Because I've experienced teaching pengajian Malaysian. I'm trying to see the other aspect of Malaysian history. But most of them more centered about Malay, not Chinese. We are very little about Chinese. Indian, very scarce. So how are we going to overcome all this situation? And my third question is about the leadership renewal. We have in Malaysia, most of the politicians serve more than 15 years. Datuk Najib, 37 years. Muhyiddin, close to 35 years. And we have in opposition, Abdul Hadi Awang, close to 30 years. Lim Kee Siao, 40 years. So, we as a young politician, we can say that, we are eager to serve our country. But these dinosaurs, they are yet to leave the post. So how are we going to see this? How are we going to have a leadership in our country? I still remember one speech by Prime Minister Lee Hsien Loong in May 2011, just before the election. He said that probably for MP, for Singapore, they will serve 1 or 2 terms. For minister, maybe longer, 4 terms. And me, he mentioned himself, probably 5 terms. But in Malaysia, we have Prime Minister serve for 7 terms. I'm waiting to become Prime Minister one day. But how long we're going to wait?
Thank you.
Thank you.
Assalamualaikum. This question I would like to ask Dr. Farish Noor to answer. Which state, which country, or which ideology that we should follow to build a nation? Is it America or China? Is it America because America is an ideology, capitalism, democracy ideology where they are becoming collapsed. The poverty is high, and America also does not follow democracy. The people doesn't want war in Afghanistan and Iraq, but they still make it. And what do you think? If we make the Islamic State caliphate or Khilafah in Arabic term as our model, because it had been proven to be implemented for 1,300 years. Thank you.
Thanks.
Assalamualaikum, salam sejahtera. I'm Ihsan from Bandar Berbagi and RA from in Merdeka Center. I would like to express a question to Dr. Farish. I sense a sense of pessimism in the discussion, especially when we talk about racial interactions and also gap generations. However, I would also like to mention that, especially since the last election, 2008, there is a positive progress, at least from my point of view, that there might be some positive moving on in terms of racial situations, and also the expansion or the movements of the youth movements and participation in a lot of activities too. However, there might cause a bit of problem in terms of the polarization of partisans in our politics. So, what do you think? What can we expect in the future of Malaysian politics? Does this increase in polarization, party politics, will affect the society? As I think a few days ago, is it a week ago, on the PA bill discussion, there's a walkout from the opposition, and I think it's also quite being common in states levels, walkout from opposition parties in whatever state government. So it will not improve our parliament debates, policy debates, if these things continuously turn on. Okay, so that's my question. And in case you have time to this one is for Dr. Khoo. Can you? I am referring to a documentary by by Fahmi Reza on the 10 years before Merdeka about the pre-independent situation, where the mainstream history that we learn that it's more from the context of the Perikatan who contributes more to Merdeka, while from the documentary by Fahmi Reza, it also shows that there's an important role played by when we call either the left side movement or something like that. Can you comment? Is there really a significant movement at that time from the left side? Okay, thanks.
Thank you. If each of our panelists can take 10 minutes to summarize their positions on the questions, that'll be ideal.